Today, we are continuing to better manage and structure and organize our current life and things that are going on. It is starting to feel better, bringing a lot of healing. But even though that's the case, we're still not really seeing as much progress as we might like. Or if that's not the case, we're still feeling a little stuck just in some things from the past and like it still hasn't budged. That can just be a little confusing. Hi, I'm your astrologer, Brittany, with horoscope.com. Here are 3 things you need to know in order to make today, Friday, January 2nd, 2026, a success. Now, let's go ahead and let's hop right into it. In order to get started, the first thing that I want to take a look at is going to be here, where Venus and the Sun are in the sign of Capricorn, because today they are coming conjunct in the sign of Capricorn number 1. Now, this to me, I like to see as more of a positive thing. I like to see it as a positive thing because when planets make a conjunction with one another, they tend to refresh each other or start a new cycle in regards to one another, especially when you get the Sun involved, which is the center of our universe. So this to me can be a very good thing. What is the good thing that's going on? Well, the Sun is about the core of our being, our identity. It's also very bright. It can bring things to light as well. And it's in Capricorn. Capricorn is about managing and structuring our current situation, not about doing new things, not about doing fun things, right? Capricorn is Earth. It's Saturn ruled. It's about managing and structuring our current environment, practical matters, more serious stuff, which the core of our being is wanting. And Venus is there in Capricorn as well. And Venus is a lot about receiving and being open to something and something being more at ease or easy. It's also about relationships and money. And this is very good. So working those out or managing and structuring those in a much, much better way that we might need. That again, I think is coming together, maybe even making us feel a little more refreshed about some things, or maybe more hopeful in some sort of way as well. So that's the first thing that I want to say today, is that we are better managing and structuring our current environment and being more practical about that. And we're feeling more at ease around that needs to be done, more open to it. We're allowing it to happen. And it is working in some ways to recalibrate our relationships and our money in a way that feels more manageable and more solid and more secure. That then leads me now. The second thing that I want to talk about today, which is going to be here where Chiron is. Chiron is going direct today in the sign of Aries number 2. Now, while this can bring with it some challenges because it is Chiron, which can indicate fears, triggers, and insecurities, I do feel like that was more of the past few days, especially while we had some planets finishing up the last degrees of Sagittarius, which are kind of in a hard spot right now. I feel like this is now turning more positive, especially because the Chiron is going direct. And when a planet goes direct, it can bring some insights of sorts, something that maybe we didn't see before, because that is when it is appearing to move very slowly in the sky. It can also bring with it some sort of momentum, right? Movement to work through something in a better way as well. So I want to see this as being more helpful. What is it that we're getting more insight or momentum to work through? Well, that's going to be Chiron, because that's what's going direct. Chiron has a lot to do with our wounds, our fears, our triggers, our insecurities. And in Aries, especially around action, around the way we act, the way we behave, the things that we're doing, which I think are tied up in this Capricorn stuff, especially with the ruler of Chiron being Mars now at this time, with it being in the sign of Aries, and Mars and Aries are correlated as well. That's going on. So I think that to maybe bring it together, we are behaving in these more practical ways to better manage and structure our current environment and make that more solid, and are becoming more at peace with that, more at ease at that. And it's working to get our relationships and money in a little bit more of a more manageable and structured place. And that is bringing healing. It's helping us to feel better about ourselves, about our life, and about the actions that we're taking, because those actions that we're taking are working in some sort of way to make us just feel like our lives are just coming together, perhaps in a much better way that I think is meant to be a very good thing that's going on there. So that's what I want to say. Healing around our actions and behaviors and feeling like things are maybe starting to work out a little bit better. That then leads me now to the third and the last thing that I want to talk about today, which is going to be where the moon is today, because the moon does move very quickly from day to day. Now, this chart is set for that first quarter moon in Aries, which was almost a week ago now. But since then, the moon has moved on, and the moon is here at the last degree of Gemini today before it also enters Cancer at some point today. And what I want to focus on is the moon at the last degree of Gemini, which it will do more early in the morning. This is actually going to happen pretty early on, making it a square over to Neptune in Pisces, number 3. Now, this is a little bit of a challenge because it is a square, which is a hard aspect, especially to Neptune, an outer planet, which can sometimes be a little bit difficult because it's further away from where we live and all of that. So it can be a bit of a challenge. What is that? Well, the moon's in Gemini. The moon's where our focus is for the few short days that it's there. Gemini is about our thoughts. It's about our mind. It's also too about getting more familiar with something, adapting to something. And it's making a square to Neptune in Pisces. Neptune can indicate confusion or just not seeing things clearly, especially in our logical mind, which Gemini has to do with. Can also still indicate feeling a little stuck, perhaps in the past as well. Like for as much progress as we're making, right? It's like Chiron is indicating healing and is indicating that we're feeling, especially with the Sun conjunct Venus, a lot better about the actions that we're taking. But even though we're feeling a lot better about the actions that we're taking, maybe to bring that together and do feel like the actions that we're taking to manage and structure environment are working, I think there's still something confused, something that we're not seeing, or something that we still feel like isn't fully coming together, or that we can't wrap our mind around, that's making us feel a little like we're still maybe kind of stuck maybe in the past. This can also too bring a little bit of a disorienting feeling of like not knowing where things are headed. If are things going to go one way? Are they going to go another way? Or we think they're going one way, right? It can also bring a little bit of that can be hard and feel uneasy. So I think that's the third and the last thing that I want to say there. You know, we're managing and structuring our current environment. It's working, helping us to get relationships and money in order much easier, bringing a lot of healing around our behaviors because we're feeling like we're doing something that's at least being productive. But even though we're doing something that's being productive, there's still something else that we feel like hasn't fully come together, that there's something that even though some things are coming together, a lot of other things haven't, and that there's still something that's making us kind of uneasy or that we're not seeing or that we're unclear about or confused about. That's still a little bit difficult that's happening. Okay. Because it's going on today, that can be a little bit of a challenge. I want to give you some advice. And the advice that I want to give you is going to be where the moon is, because even though I didn't discuss it so far, the moon is going to enter Cancer later today. And it's going to then move on and ultimately make a full moon there in Cancer, which I actually really like because it's going to be near Jupiter and it's sign of exaltation, which is a very, very good thing that's going to happen shortly. And I think the good thing that's going to happen shortly at that full moon is that we're going to realize we actually are making progress. We actually are escaping the past, so to speak. We actually are feeling more solid, and where we're going to start to feel like more things are coming together. So I think that our mind is just kind of playing tricks with us today, because I think we're actually in a much better space than we think, and we're going to realize that very soon. And because of that, the advice is get out of the mind. I think it's the mind that doesn't see what's happening, but the emotions get it. The emotions get it. The intuition, the spirit gets it. So if you're feeling confused today, or if you're feeling like you're doing a lot of stuff, and sure, it's working to make your experience feel more organized, but it's not working in like the larger scale of things of like what you hope to ultimately create in your life. If you're feeling that way, stop thinking about it logically, get out of your head and do things that get you more into your emotions, that nurture yourself, that make you feel things, and get you into your intuition, because that's going to make things more clear for you and going to help you feel much better about things that are going on, because something good is happening, whether you realize it or not. Hey, and that's it, because that's it. I'm now just going to repeat all of that one last time without the jargon. So let me do that now. What I think is going on today is, number one, we are focusing more on managing and structuring our current environment in a practical way and getting that more organized and in order. And it's working to help us, get our relationships and money in a little bit of a better place. Not only that, but that too is also bringing some healing, because it's making us feel like at least something that we're doing is being productive, in some kind of way, and is being helpful. But even though it's bringing healing because we're feeling like at least something that we're doing is being productive, I don't think we're seeing how this productive stuff that we're doing adds up in a larger scale. Like, sure, it's great to have money and relationships in order, but like, how is that going to get me to where I want to go? and all this other stuff. I think we're not quite seeing maybe the big picture of it. Maybe that's what it is, of what's actually happening, that's making us feel a little frustrated or confused or disoriented, or uncomfortable. That can be a bit of a challenge. And because that's going on, I'm going to give you some advice to help you with that. And the advice is that things are actually going well, and what you're doing is actually going to help you get to where you want to go in the bigger picture. The only reason why you're not seeing it is because you're too in the mind, trying to logically parse through things, and aren't in the intuition, aren't in your emotions, and maybe need to allow, right, to get in there, to nurture yourself, and to allow these things to come together more naturally, or just another day or two, because you're going to see that you're doing quite well in the end. So that's your daily planetary forecast for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you tomorrow.